member of the One China campaign. Well, I think there's more to talk about than crime. I also think that what's real is that harm and violence occurs in any community, and I think that one thing we're not trying to say is that there aren't problems in the community of Oberlin, or that people don't do things that are really harmful and violent to other people. However, I'm really wondering why I am worth more and more worthwhile to keep safe because my dad pays 55 grand a year. And I think that if Oberlin is a liberal institution and does value itself as a place that really supports social justice issues, has been at the forefront of anti-racist struggle, I just want to know why, because my dad earned a bunch of money, my body is more worth protecting. And I think that that feels to me as a student at the crux of what this No Trespass List issue is about.
I am sympathetic to the fact that it's difficult to cross the town without stepping onto college property, but actually, in point of fact, you're probably not going to be arrested if you're on Tappan Square. You're probably not, even if you are on the list, you're probably not going to be arrested if you're in the Arboretum, even if you are on the list. You probably will be arrested if you're doing something that the safety and security has been told to look out for, and you're on the list, and you have previously been involved in conduct like that. So the college policy, it may not be completely equitable, it may not be completely fair, and we should probably try to help them improve it, but it's probably not going to go away, totally.
My question about, I'm totally in favor of removing the list. I think that it's totally pointless. I don't know if the school has any graphs or pie charts or statistics about if crime has gone down since the list has been around, but I think that that's sort of unlikely. Even if you're in favor of having a list for people who are hardened criminals or commit felonious assaults on campus or whatever, I don't think that those people are not going to commit those crimes if they're on a list. I think that if you're going to commit these crimes, you're going to do them whether or not trespassing is a charge you're going to get.
Hi, I'm David. I'm pastor here. Welcome. We're so glad that you could be here this evening for this conversation. I guess I would just issue a word of caution. There seems to be a lot of thought falling from anecdotal evidence, which is a very dangerous way to proceed, because as much as people's stories are important, there's a lot of stuff that I hear filtering out here tonight that we really don't know is true or is fact or fiction. And then people are drawing conclusions based on that information. So I think it would be important to sort out some of these things, like, how does it play out in the Arboretum? How does it play out in Tappan Square? Who's on it really? Are a bunch of people really on this list for no reason, or are they on the list for a reason? Do people really not know why they're on the list, or do they know why they're on the list? These are things that need to be sorted out rather than just we surmise. Also, I think it would be helpful to have a conversation about the difference between public property and private property.
Actually, I would like to say something now. My name is Chris Robinson, and I've been a resident of Oberlin all my life. And I have had a problem with trespass lists all my life, although I've not been on it. I think it was said earlier that you're not going to get arrested just through walking through campus. That's true. That doesn't mean we're not going to get harassed through walking through campus. Me and a friend, which is a true story, me and a friend walked through Mud Library, not through Mud Library, how about that? Through the quad, the grass, the area. Walk through the area, get into my house, but I live on the other street, the other side of Mud Library, and security guard drives on the sidewalk, to stop me and my friend and ask us why we are walking on the quad. Are you guys students? Are you here on break, like spring break, I guess? Are you here? No, I'm walking home. Like, is there a problem? Is there something broken? Is there something missing? No, you don't need to be here. I think it was said earlier that they can't change it from our story because they can give us sympathy. I know people that have been arrested, who's lost jobs, who's losing money, and sympathy is not going to fix that. So something needs to be done about this list, that's all I'm saying. I am a junior, but that is only because my father was also named Tom.
Okay.
The college needs to have a written policy governing how non-college people should be conducting themselves on college property. The college has a wonderful handbook of student regulations, policies, and procedures. They need to have that for townspeople as well, and have it published so that people know what it is.
Obviously, the list is not an optimal way to deal with crime, but it's not for crime. It's to export crime to the rest of the city, not the college. I think that's like the key issue.
You know, some people might consider this a little radical. I don't consider it radical. I don't think that minors should be put on a no trespassing list.
I'm a senior at the college, and along with Julia Shepherd, we teach the street law class at the high school, and we've been talking about the no trespass list in our street law class. And we showed some of the video that you guys made, and then asked the kids to respond. And these are sophomores through seniors at the high school who are in Mr. Rinder's street law class. And I just wanted to share a couple of like general ideas of what their opinions were. People who've been in the town our whole lives, it's not fair that we can't go to the gym and play, or seeing college students committing some of the same like crimes, like biking on the sidewalk and then being told by police like, oh, well, the next time you bike on a sidewalk, you're getting on the no trespass list. The idea of the list being too vague, like what is excessive athletics? And then it was brought up that this might be a race problem. They don't know the whole story, and there's a lot of desire for information. We made a big list of things we want to know, and really wanting to also hear the college side, why the college wants this list, what their reasoning is, and really being able to make an unbiased opinion. And then the last quote I'll leave you with is, it's like we're immigrants to the community.
There need to be some more conversations among the community and parents and the administration about what we mean by keeping our students safe. Does it mean that we're barring them from having contact with certain people?
Just talking about the no trespass list in terms of crime is not really a good model, because it seems like a lot of people got put on this list really doing nothing wrong. It seems to me like Oberlin College is just kind of scared of the town.
As much as I appreciate the college and all that the college does offer, like the concerts and things like that, I think it's really cool. They do own a lot of property. A lot of property. And it keeps growing. And people in places with power ought to have responsibility. And I'm not seeing a balance here. We've got power. Where's the responsibility?
What's wrong with it is that the person who is accused does not get an opportunity to say his side of the case. You're accused, and you're the same person that is your accuser, also because you're judge, your juror, and your executioner. Now something is wrong with that, because if you commit the crime, you need to pay for it, but you don't need to be put on a list that's going to last you for a lifetime. You need to, any more than you need to, if you jaywalk, you go to the electric chair. Let the punishment fit the crime.
With being such a driving force and powerful source of education, and for me, it was an integral part of my growing up, and for it to now be offered to everyone in the town based on them being from the town, there's a moral obligation that you're supposed to uphold to create a unity within the town, to create a sense of drive and a desire for educating yourselves and getting out of the town or getting a job or going to college. And maybe, yes, that would include going to Oberlin College. Oberlin needs to find a way to bring back educational programs to help with the community development. We need to be showing some transparency, and it needs to be individualized.
First of all, I appreciate what you're saying about a lot of what we've heard is that people from the college don't know the experiences of people from the town. And so I think being able to hear these stories is really valuable, because we can begin to paint a better picture of what's going on.
If the purpose of the no trespassing list is to keep people safe or to keep students safe, then why aren't students who do the same things held to the same standards as the townspeople? Because if we're But it's sort of become this thing, I feel like, that's like, well, we don't trust we don't trust the so-called townies as much as college students, and that's what I see as the issue here. And I also would like to note that it is true that we are basing things on anecdotal evidence, but that's all we have. And I think it's important in a community, and again, I'm not necessarily, I am a temporary community member, so I defer to other people's opinions. But as a community, it's important to trust the people who are telling you things. If you don't have that, you don't have the community at all, So I take people's word, and I think a lot of people in this room take the word of the people who are talking. Even science is anecdotal to a certain point. We just have a lot of anecdotes. So, anyway, yeah.
I am a fourth year at Oberlin College, and I also sit on the Student Senate. I think that the One Town campaign is incredibly important, and I'm really glad to see everybody here tonight. There are just a few things that I wanted to say, some thoughts I've been having listening to this meeting. First of all, is that it seems like the original purpose of the list was designed to keep me and my fellow students safe, and one of the assumptions underlying that list is that the most likely threat comes from the community and not from my own fellow students. And that's an assumption that I feel pretty uncomfortable with, and I don't fully understand the justification for that. And finally, I don't remember who brought it up, but it was over here, the distinction between public property and private property. And I think that's an important distinction, but one of the things that seems to be the biggest problems here is privately owned public spaces. And I think that that's really important to keep in mind.
When you eliminate resources, and this is not just from being on the list, but just the entire rhetoric that surrounds this list, when you eliminate resources for young people, there is an element of boredom that sets in. And so when you take college facilities off the table, which really I think means when you don't present them directly and give people opportunities to use them, you fuel more of this behavior that people are considering dangerous or problematic. So I think it is the role of the college, despite this private property, to make those resources available, and not just the public spaces, but the library, the gym, things like this.
We're talking about access exclusion, which is one topic. I think realistically, trespass list is another. And while I would like to see the resources shared, I guess at this point, I think what I'm most concerned with is a withdrawal of the aggression. Before we talk about, increasing access to positive resources.
Records Quest, they've received information on trespass that they're going to be publishing tomorrow in a way that I must admit concerns me, because I think they're going to be putting a lot of people's names out there in a way that really troubles me a lot. But I think that as we think about transparency, I think that we need to be working together in ways that actually move the process forward in a way that makes things better. People probably have a lot of questions and concerns that they might want to direct to me or to someone else outside of these settings or in these settings. I'm happy to stay after, but please know that my door is always open.
Then I think we should have a town gown type of committee that actually reviews that. If you want to put somebody on the list, I don't know that, but I guess what I heard from the last meeting that the solution was, let's hire somebody, spend a bunch of money, and see what the problem is. Well, we know what the problem is. And what is the solution? The solution to me would be, if there is a need for something such as a list, then we'd have a committee that can review this list periodically.
There must be a better way of solving the crime problem in Oberlin than a list. And if the list is the best option, maybe we should be telling large inner cities about this list idea.